Hey guys, Dr. Dobson. In this video, we're going to be restoring this chipped front tooth for a buddy of mine. Here's the final result. We used Equia Forte, and you can see that it's pretty aesthetic. So we'll get into some teaser footage here. We're going to do a little slot prep for retention. We'll restore with the Equia Forte, and then we'll trim it with a wheel, and there's our final result there. We're also going to be removing a couple of wisdom teeth in the same appointment. He had a symptomatically impacted 1/8 there. And here's some footage of that thing coming out. And then he had a decayed 2/8 here, and I'm not going to bother trying to restore that with the access that you'd have, so just going to remove that one as well. So we'll get into the footage proper here. There's the 2/8 coming out. We'll start no freezing, no rubber dam for a case like this. You could use a rubber dam if you wanted to. But we're just going to take a very small round diamond and make a little dovetail notch into the incisal edge of the tooth so that the filling retains. If you just tried to pumice and bond, it's going to come out when they bite on it. So I always like a notch in my restorations, including class 2s. So just a quick notch with the round diamond, and then we'll go in with a flame and just kind of remove any really unsupported thin enamel and make a bit of a bevel for aesthetic blending. And then that's pretty much going to be it for the prep. So we'll start restoring, just going to put a Mylar in there, no wedge required. And then we'll condition and apply our material. So we'll dry the tooth surface thoroughly before applying the etchant or conditioner, whatever you use. And then for an etch, I just do a quick 5-second. I like to rinse very thoroughly. And then I like to dry it mostly. And then we'll get the capsule of Equia Forte directly from the mixer into the tooth. And I like to do that as quick as possible so that it doesn't start to become too viscous. So it'll still flow into the nooks and crannies of the prep. And then we'll just pack it with a little moist cotton pellet and then wait 5 minutes. And while we're waiting, we're just going to stuff a little cotton roll in the lip so that the matrix doesn't jiggle around and freeze the wisdom teeth. So palatal anesthesia with articaine for the 728. And then PSA in the 2/8, and then we'll also supplement the 1/6 area at a later point once the PSA is kind of taken. And then we'll do the same thing on the right side for the 1/8, supplement the 1/6, and then the PSA and palatal. Didn't think I had it recorded. So we'll start to shape the excess restorative material with a wheel on a mandrel. We'll use the wheel for the incisal and the facial surfaces, and then a football for the lingual surface. So there's a football going to work. And we're getting close here. Try to pick off some thin flash with an explorer. And then there's still a little bit of flash just right around here, around there. You can see that little bit of flash there. So we'll go in with a carbide flame to remove that. We'll try to use a wheel, but it doesn't really have the right angle. Just smoothing the lingual with the wheel. So we'll just kind of round off the proximal surface with the wheel and then try to get that bit of flash, but it doesn't really have the right angle. So we'll use a carbide flame, just feather it. And then we'll start checking the bite. It was pretty in high occlusion at first, so we'll take it down a little bit. And one big thing that I would do if I could go back for this case would be to stop right here and adjust the opposing tooth instead so that the uppers were symmetric, but like to take the restoration just slightly out of occlusion and ended up taking it too far down. So that was a regret. I actually offered for the patient to have it replaced immediately, just on site, but they didn't mind, I guess. So we'll apply our varnish and then light cure it, and that's finished. So here's the 1/8, the impacted 1/8 that we're going to start to remove. And this is way too big of an elevator. I usually like to start with a really thin elevator for upper 8s and then go to a medium one. So we'll kind of faff around with it for a bit and then switch over to a medium one. I don't think we had a small one on hand, but there's a medium and that will work okay. Have to put really heavy force, forward force while twisting to get it to luxate. And then once it's a little bit mobile, then it'll just work its way out. Then we'll go in with the large one and finish. $1,000 milligrams of Tylenol and 800 milligrams of Advil before starting. And then we'll do the 2/8, the one with the buccal cavity, with the medium, and just give it slow wiggles until it starts to luxate. Then we'll go in with the large and just continue luxating. You could grab a forceps here if you wanted to, but we'll just use the elevator, and that's pretty much it. We'll give some gauze to bite down on, post-op instructions, painkillers, and send them on their way.